Viewers, I want you to now focus on the pictures on your screens. Take in these images. These are images for the ages. 18 lakh bricks, 7 lakh man hours and 1.8 lakh cubic meters of sandstone from Rajasthan have gone into creating the edifice of, viewers, what can only be called an ode to Bharat's pluralism. And viewers, a concrete symbol of Sanatan Dharma's universalism, its universalist ethos captured by the motto Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We are talking about, viewers, the gargantuan temple, the BAPS Temple that has been inaugurated and consecrated by the Prime Minister today in Abu Dhabi. It is caparisoned, viewers, by not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, but 7 spires, as it weaves together the 7 Emirates in the Gulf, viewers. The Prime Minister is at hand. This particular temple, built at the cost of 700 crores, will serve as a beacon of Sanatan Dharma in yet another part of the world, viewers. Temples from Brampton to Birmingham to Bali to Abu Dhabi, viewers, symbolizes India's expansive spiritual power, its enduring appeal, its philosophical cosmopolitanism, viewers, its acceptance. And this, viewers, is a bricks and mortar riposte to all those who say that India and the Hinduism in India is parochial. It is exceptionalist. Viewers, the UAE's Emir, Abu Dhabi's Emir, has granted land to construct this gorgeous edifice, an ode to Indian civilizational Sanatan Dharma. It towers, viewers, and it encompasses temples to Lord Ram, Lord Shiva, Lord Jagannath, Lord Krishna, Lord Swaminarayan, considered a reincarnation of Lord Krishna, Tirupati Balaji and Lord Ayappa. It weaves together in symbolic tapestry the diversity of Sanatan Dharma in the subcontinent, viewers. And it locates it in the sterile but obviously serene expanse of the desert in the Emirates, viewers. The Prime Minister arrived about half an hour ago. He took a little tour around the compound of this temple, and let me give you a little inclination, viewers, about what is in this compound. Using perhaps the greatest architectural feints, viewers, they have managed to create an oasis in the desert, viewers. The structure is surrounded by rivers, artificial ones, that were created from the waters of the Ganga and the Yamuna. Varanasi-like ghats have been created on one side, through which the artificial river passes. Viewers, this is a small tribute to the complexity of temple architecture we see in the subcontinent. It is built in the Nagara style, the same style in which the Ram temple in Ayodhya has been built, viewers. And I want to open this up because a conversation is required. And I want to first go across to Siddhant, who has been there in Abu Dhabi all these days. It's been a momentous trip. It is cementing, obviously, India's great friendship, emerging, geopolitically significant friendship with the UAE. But more than that, it is projecting pluralism that defines India into another expanse of the world. So Siddhant, just talk us through why this temple is so special, why is it being talked about? You yourself have been showing us features that are just breathtaking.
Well, yes, that's right, Rahul. And, this temple represents the multicultural society of UAE, Rahul. This temple has stone carvings of stories, depictions from many cultures across the world, not just the Hindu culture. Point number one. Point number two, Rahul, at the entry, there is a wall of harmony. As this temple sends out a strong message of peace and harmony, there is wall of harmony. And in fact, what's written on that wall is Vasudev Kutumbakam. Word is one family. So, the kind of messaging that message that this temple sends out is perhaps is something which the society in UAE stands for, especially the Indian diaspora. Also, Rahul, I would like to share the experience what I have witnessed just a short while back. So, whenever Pran Pratishtha takes place, there are mantras and chants in Sanskrit with the priests do. Now, it's very interesting and perhaps maybe very rare for many of us, including me, that with those Sanskrit chants, the priests were taking name of the location Abu Dhabi again and again, because it's very important to name the location where Pran Pratishtha is taking place. So maybe a few years back, or maybe few years back, we never have thought that Sanskrit mantras, Sanskrit shloks would be spoken out during the puja by taking the name of Abu Dhabi on a loudspeaker, and even bhajans are being played on a loudspeaker from BAPS Temple in Abu Dhabi. This is a cultural district where we are reporting from. So this is unprecedented, something which one would have never thought about. And that particular dream has come to reality. The dream which Pramukh Swami Maharaj saw in 1997, Rahul, in Sharjah, that there should be a Hindu temple in Abu Dhabi. And when his Dattak Putra, Pradhan Mantri Modi, Prime Minister Modi, comes to power, the first thing he does is getting the land allocated for BAPS Temple. Perhaps that is the contribution and the tribute that Prime Minister gave to his guru and father figure, Pramukh Swami Maharaj, in 2015. And today, we are seeing that dream turning into a reality when the Pran Pratishtha is going on, or perhaps the mandir is officially inaugurated, Rahul. So it's a historic day. And Rahul, we all are aware of,
No, stay on with me, because I want you to participate in this discussion that we're going to have for a few moments as we soak in these pictures. And Dr. Ranganathan, look, I have to say, whether it's Bali, whether it's Angkor Wat, whether it is back in time or the present time, an Hindu temple edifies Sanatan Dharma's tolerance. Nowhere, I mean, we'll be hard pressed to find a Hindu temple coming up under controversial circumstances on desecrated land. I have to say that it is brilliant to see the projection of our universal ethos across the globe. I know that India's soft power has been talked about. We've had Beatles come here in Orientalism and all of that, but this is different, isn't it, Doctor? This is different.
No, absolutely. Good evening, Rahul, and good evening to my fellow panelists. It's a wonderful occasion. I mean, seeing the temple being consecrated there. 3 points, 3 issues come to mind. Number one, I just wish that our Muslim brothers and sisters in India were as open and welcoming as the original Muslims of the Middle East. Perhaps in time they would be. Because the realization is stark, and the realization tells you that ours is first a way of life, and the religion part of it, or the religious part of it, emanates from it. We've been always so welcoming in every country. And as you rightly said, Vasudeva Kutumbakam, the world is a family. We truly believe it. We imbibe it. And I have to say this, I have to give credit to Prime Minister Modi, because I didn't even know this statistics existed. This is the first temple in the UAE. There already exists, of course, it's an Islamic country. It's not a democracy, but it has 40 churches. It even has 3 synagogues, but it had no temple. So I want to ask, I mean, Tehseen is there, other people are there. There are millions of Indians there. Did the previous governments not worry about, and all of them I am just assuming would be religious, not atheists who go there, did they not worry about that an Indian, be it from any religion, would want to be reminded of his or her religion, his or her gods, thousands of miles away from his own country? That this kind of space might be required for them. So I congratulate Narendra Modi. Honestly, I do, because if Jews of all people, and we know historically the animosity that exists between Jews and Muslims. Jews have synagogues there. Christians, we know about the Crusades, and they got 40 big churches there. This is the first Hindu temple. So congratulations to Narendra Modi, congratulations to this government to have thought about its diaspora, and I would like the Congress to at least accept that this is something which is a very humbling experience and something that will go in fructifying the friendship of UAE with India.
Let me bring that out. Let's speak to Tehseen Poonawala and also, of course, Mr. Kamru Choudhury. Mr. Kamru Choudhury and Tehseen, both of you are there. Very open-minded, progressive Muslim brothers of ours. Can we say today with authority that Prime Minister Modi has become a diplomat for India's universal Sanatan Dharma? Kamru Choudhury. You know, the Congress has leaders that have, that wear the Janeu and they proudly sort of flaunt it, but in his own quiet way. Mr. Modi seems to have become really the torch bearer of, and I'm not making this religious. Please understand, this is in a more sort of spiritual, guiding light sort of way. For all things Indian, for all things Bharatiya, you also subscribe to the Bharatiya culture, Kamru, whether it's yoga, whether it is spirituality, whether it is food, whether it is dress. I've never seen Mr. Modi sort of wear affectations, Western affectations when he is meeting with other world leaders. He carries his culture with him. And he's also brought back Indian culture, which, previous governments have not been able to do, back to India. So there has been a huge confluence, isn't it?
Rahul, first, before coming to your point, let me just bust the lie that Anandji has just now spoken on national television. This Swaminathan Mandir is not the first mandir that existed in the United Arab Emirates. In fact, there is a Krishna Haveli temple which was built by Uttam Chand Bhatia in 1936 out of a land that was allotted by the Amir at that time.
No, he's talking about Abu Dhabi, sir. He's talking about Abu Dhabi.
No, you can, I'm not.
No, he's not talking about the UAE. He's talking about Abu Dhabi because that's where the temple is being built.
Rewind that. Can you please rewind it?
Sir, I can't rewind it. Live TV can't be rewound.
So it's my word versus his word. You can check it.
Let Dr. Ranganathan, what's he saying in his defense? Okay, let's very quickly.
No, you can.
He's talking about Abu Dhabi. He's talking about Abu Dhabi. Okay, sir. He's clarified. He's talking about Abu Dhabi. Get to the point. Don't nitpick.
Whether he has spoken a lie or not, let the viewers decide. I leave it to the.
Right, full marks to you. What did I send you? My super
point out there. Now come to the basic point, Rahul.
Forgive the noble their minor trespasses, sir. It can happen. The man meant it he meant it. He's not intentional, sir. He talked about.
But it is because of Narendra Modi ji that UAE has donated land. But I'm not coming to the point out here. The Middle East countries, they spoke up in unison against whom? Against a fringe spokesperson as the BJP government designated Nupur Sharma. Now this same Nupur Sharma is living the life of a prisoner in her own home. It cannot get worse than that. Whatever may be the issues involved. Now you got the issue of the Qataris being Qatar releasing our ex-Navy personnel. Now there is a big business deal behind it. A $78
Kamru Choudhury, one second.
Now let me
Kamru Choudhury, 1 minute. Now I have to ask you this question. Since you are trying to get into this space of being sort of the nitpicker, the fact checker, let me ask you a question. Should India have diplomatic relations with China?
Why not?
Why not? Do you know what China does to its Muslim population? Do you know where those Muslims are?
then will India give them a CA for the Chinese population? No, the question doesn't arise.
Arey bhai,
because 40%.
sir, what are you talking about?
40% of the Indian
the CA
population
applies
is in
to
the UAE,
three
and they are
countries,
Hindus
not
population.
China. Now, the point is, Kamru Choudhury, you said that Nupur Sharma is the real symbol of the BJP today. What can be more shameful than that? That's what you are saying, right? Sir, the Prime Minister himself is being welcomed with open arms, given an order of merit by all these countries. His word is taken as gospel. Qatar releases India's sailors who were jailed there. If they thought that he was, if they thought that he was a xenophobic Islamophobe, as you are trying to portray the entire BJP, sir, tonight, this would not be happening. Let me bring in Siddhant Mishra. No, I am tired of negativity, sir. We were only asking you.
This is a very important point.
What is the important point?
Let me come in. In 2013, I'll just be very short and brief. In 2013, the bilateral trade between India and the UAE was $72 billion. After 10 years, 2024, the business has come down to 72, whereas during Manmohan Singh times, it was $75 billion. Despite all the visits by Narendra Modi went to UAE, why is the business coming down? This is not so simple as it is visible in the eye.
You have forgotten a couple of things.
No,
the trade deficit in their side was 10 times higher than it is today. Today, it's an equal relationship.
Rahul,
please understand, India is one of, the Gulf has become #2 export destination for all Indian goods in the last 5 years. It was never the case.
5 years. Why was the UAE?
Oh gosh, sir, please, I can't have this debate. I don't know what you're debating, quite frankly. I'm not understanding what is. I'm confused. I'm actually confused. But viewers, just look at those pictures.
The other point of view.
I am hearing the other point of view. I asked you about a spiritual issue. You're talking about trade. I don't know. Anyhow, Mr. P.K. Basu wants to come in. He's an economist on the trade issue. Yes, Mr. Basu.
Well, on the trade, first of all, the UAE has become India's third largest trading partner, and the fact that the UAE, you see, if you go back in history, until 10 years ago, the UAE and Saudi Arabia were the biggest supporters, financial backers of Pakistan.
Yeah.
And effective, strategic and economic and financial allies of Pakistan. The fact that the UAE has essentially shifted to becoming a strong India ally, has signed an FTA with India about a year ago and is allowing the building of a large temple in Abu Dhabi. Now, Abu Dhabi, of the 7 Emirates, Abu Dhabi is the most conservative. It is usually expected that in the entire Arabian Peninsula there won't be too many non-Muslim places of worship. So it is a significant shift for the conservative Abu Dhabi Emirate to allow a large Indian temple, a large Hindu temple, and I think it's a symbol of the deepening ties between India and the UAE that have been exemplified by the FTA signed last year. Now, trade between the UAE and India is flourishing as a result, and it's important to also understand, of course, that oil is a big source. Abu Dhabi, of course, has most of the UAE's oil.
Yes.
India is a significant buyer of that oil, but in addition, the UAE imports a lot from India, and if we deepen that relationship, then of course there'll be substantially greater imports of all types of goods into the UAE, and the UAE can become a hub for India's exports to the entire Gulf Cooperation Council. It's also important to understand that the UAE was called the Trucial States. It was a British protectorate, as was Kuwait and Bahrain and all of these countries, and as a result they have Christian places of worship. They have churches
Yes.
that have come down from colonial times.
Yes.
But the fact that the most conservative of
Absolutely. I think
of the
one has to
Emirates
accept the
has-
fact that the Prime Minister's diplomacy's transformation has been. I'm sure Tehseen will come in. Dr. Ranganathan, you're wanting to make a point. I want to bring in Tehseen right after. I think we lost him. Siddhant is also standing by. Yes, Doctor.
No, very briefly, just to correct myself, because inadvertently what I meant was Abu Dhabi, as you correctly said. This is the first temple in Abu Dhabi, as Dada also mentioned, fairly conservative place. It already has a synagogue as well as churches. So it never had a Hindu temple. And if I'm not mistaken, although Kamruji is frantically Googling to see if I'm correct on this or not, 700,000 Indians are resident of Abu Dhabi. Kamruta, please check this. In case I'm wrong, I will apologize to you also. The fact of the matter is that for so many years and decades, they had not a single place of worship to go to. And these places historically are the center for the community, expat communities to come together to interact. So my simple question to the people before Modi, they keep branding him, calling him anti-Muslim, and all those things, butcher and everything. Here is a conservative Islamic country that has allowed, on Modi's request, a temple to be built where no temple existed, for Indians to go and interact there and mingle there. Is that not a good thing? That's the bottom line.
Huge holes have been punched in that narrative today. Tehseen Poonawalla, Siddhant Mishra is also there. Tehseen Poonawalla. This is, the greatest calumny. Communalism, rampant, all of this, completely shattered today. Completely. Let's face it. The Prime Minister is the most credible ambassador for Bhartiyata. He's been welcomed from the UAE, Bali. He goes to Canada, he goes to UK, he goes to America, he goes down to Australia, he goes to the Antipodes, he goes to Brazil. He's a preeminent ambassador. He's been to places where no Indian Prime Minister has been. Accept it.
Good evening, Rahul. Thank you so much for having me. Nishad, you answered a very happy Vasant Panchami to you, to all our fellow panelists, and to all the viewers. Yes, the Prime Minister's outreach to the Middle East in particular, and I've said this on your show earlier, has been fantastic. We must give our Prime Minister credit where it's due. So the Middle Eastern relationship, I agree with both my dear friends, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, my older brother, and the economist, Mr. Bose, that yes, India's relationship has grown significantly stronger with the Middle East.
Yes.
But and also, I'm very gracious of Dr. Anand to concede that it's not the first temple in the Middle East. In fact, several temples which existed, of course, he's speaking about Abu Dhabi. Prime Minister Manmohan Singh time, there were several lands that were allotted for temples to come up. So that has also been an established fact. Now, let's come to the issues that both Kamruji and I raised with our Prime Minister. Now, one, we are not anti our Prime Minister or anti our country. So where he does well, we praise him. When we see countries like the Middle Eastern countries, the most conservative regions, today opening up and becoming liberal. For example, in Dubai, pork is easily available. I'm not making that a barometer of liberalism. And when you see hate in India being spewed domestically, that's when we're critical of the BJP and some of its members. There's a difference in the two. We love our country. He's our Prime Minister, so we support him. And we support the good things he does. But at the same time, his failure to call out hate and bigotry in India, on either side of it, that is what we are calling out for. We are citizens of this great country. He's our Prime Minister. He's representing me out there. But when those policies are reversed in India, when people who owe their loyalty to him use racial slurs for Muslims in the parliament, what action was taken against Ramesh Biduri? I remember, Rahul, joining you, and you were livid that night that a BJP member of parliament used such dirty slurs for Ramesh Biduri. I cannot use those words on your show. You were livid, Rahul, rightly so. What happened to Ramesh Biduri? He got a promotion.
I was also livid. Not to draw any parallels here, because we are not racing right to the bottom of the barrel. But when Iran, some chap called Masood, Imran Masood, or some character, or the other character, that fellow that, congenital hate spewer, I think he is, who shared a platform with Priyanka Gandhi, some fellow, what is his name, Bakt or Barkat or whatever his name is. I'm sorry, I'm very bad with names. It shouldn't become a McAdams moment.
But Rahul,
may I
please finish my point?
My point is that
Rahul, please, I'll take 10 seconds more.
Yeah,
please
take
give
12
me the 10
seconds
more. Just 10 seconds
But make
more.
a point.
Now,
I'm still waiting for you to make a point.
No, I am saying that the Prime Minister's outreach to the Middle East makes us happy. His lack of action and the hate being in India, is our duty to pull it up, and not just these low-hanging fruits like Ramesh Biduri or this chap who stood with Priyanka Gandhi ji. Let me tell you, the most honorable Prime Minister said, "Dangayo ko kapdo se pehchana jata hai." It was a dog whistle for Muslims. You know it, Rahul. I filed a complaint against it. He got away on technical grounds. Shamshan Kabristan. It's not acceptable. He's my Prime Minister. He cannot do it. So when we call him out, we call him out for the good of the country.
Tehseen, on this point, see, look, I knew that you were going to have this fit. You see,
Rahul, I'm
it's
a
a
guest
fit.
on your show.
Now,
when
let
you
me
use words like this,
no, I'm just
that's
saying.
not
This
fair.
is
That's not a
I
fair
agree.
comment.
I agree. You're right. You're right. But allow me my trespass.
Please.
In the spirit of
Sure.
of free speech, that you were going to lose your rag. Let me use a softer phrase. Okay. So
Why?
I knew this. You see, viewers, this is an affirmation. This is an affirmative moment for Mr. Modi. When he stands in a Hindu temple, in a conservative Muslim country, has just finished with a series of meetings where he was given the status of the prime speaker, the guest of honor, Siddhant, guest of honor, by the Abu Dhabi government. This must
And
really
they're proud of
irritate.
it.
This must irritate.
They're proud of
no,
it.
1 second. Now tell
No,
me,
it doesn't
viewers,
irritate us. You are speaking on our behalf.
Arre,
It's
let
wrong.
me finish.
No, but you're wrong. You cannot speak on my behalf and
But
say I'm
you have just
irritated. I am proud of my
Bhai,
Prime Minister.
I'm only giving
Super
you.
proud of him.
Oh, super proud of a person that you
Yes,
say
on
has
this
identified members of your community through their kapde ki pehchan, who have come out and
That is separate.
stood with Mr.
And I
Bhaduri,
think we're
who have
mature
stood
enough
with.
to
No, 1
appreciate
second. I
people.
mean, who the UPA conspired in some ways to deny a passport to travel to a foreign country, even though the greatest
was wrong.
xenophobes, even though the greatest xenophobic presidents of the USA that have bombed, actually, they used the phrase, we will bomb Islamic countries back to the Stone Age, and they did. They flew around the world. You had no problem. They came to India, no problem.
I think that's wrong.
Barack Obama,
I'm proud of this, and I can be- and I
actually,
can
no, 1 second,
criticize it on
Barack
something
Obama,
else.
who
And that's what makes us
institutionalized,
great.
let me finish. Barack Obama, who institutionalized killing from 29,000 feet of innocent Muslim children by equipping drones, giving them permission to go into hot pursuit, was called here by Manmohan ji and given a huge hug and called a brother. By that standard, sir, we've got a problem. Yes, doctor, you want to say something?
Dr. Manmohan Singh said to George Bush,
George-
Mr. Bush, the whole of India loves you.
Loves you.
He did.
At the point where Muslims in India were protesting his actions in the Gulf.
George Bush gave
I
us
mean,
the nuclear deal with Barack Obama.
actually,
We
Dr.
need to thank
Ranganathan,
them for it.
I'll tell you something, Dr. Ranganathan, the proof of the pudding in its in eating. Okay, Mr. Modi is like a Hitler, these chaps will say, but I have to ask, give me one policy which is like the Nazi state, one law that this government has
Can
passed.
I give you? Can I give you just now?
No, please,
Just now?
please, 1 second.
Just
I was
now, in
asking
10
Dr.
seconds. No, don't interrupt me. I'll give you just now.
Oh, Lord.
I'll give you just now. Please, don't interrupt me. 10 seconds. Only 10 seconds. The recent UCC in Uttarakhand,
Let me
which makes
hear.
it mandatory. Please allow me. Don't
I
interrupt
can't
me.
hear
That's
you.
the
Go
thing.
ahead.
That's your technical thing. The recent rule in UAE. Please, Anand, this is so unfair. I never interrupt you. 10 seconds, that's all I've asked. Don't be unfair. You have to register your living, and the government is in your bedroom. That is
That is not communal, my dear friend. That is anti-public.
The government's in your
It is a
bedroom,
privacy
my friend.
issue. It's where is it
Nazi.
anti-Muslim?
It is Nazi. The Nazis invaded
Oh,
privacy.
don't be stupid.
It's not
Sorry to
right.
say, I'm really.
That's
This
taking over
is
liberty.
completely.
I am
You're
sorry
going
if you-
completely off
Do
tangent.
you agree
now.
with that policy? Is that not Nazism?
I don't agree with it
The
because
government in
it
your
is
bedroom-
fundamentally.
No,
Hang on,
it's
it
government-
steps on
Government's
people's.
policy towards
अरे भाई
more
सुनने
debate
तो
on
दो
that.
भाई साहब बोलने तो दो सर आप I beg your indulgence Tehseen. Please.
Doctor was speaking, not
Listen,
me. Doctor was speaking, not
I
me.
am talking about policies directed at one creed. Yes, doctor.
No, I wanted to say a couple of things because as times move on, I need to correct both my dear friends Tehseen and Kamruji more and more, unfortunately.
I thought I was your brother.
Number one, when Rahul, you challenged him to give out one policy that was against Muslims, he comes up with something stating that is not against one particular religion at all. It is religion agnostic. It is against everyone, and we've criticized it universally. But there are institutionalized, there are constitutional amendments given to policies that are legalized, that are anti-Hindu. And Tehseen will agree with that. The Places of Worship Act is anti-Hindu. The RTE provisions in conjunction with 94th Amendment is anti-Hindu. The Waqf Act is anti-Hindu. So there are many policies that are anti-Hindu, not a single one that is anti-Muslim now.
They codified Hindu personal laws from A to Z.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But here I want to say something.
May I please reply?
Just to sour this beautiful moment, Tehseen brings in selectivity. You know that BJP is doing this out here, anti-Muslim. I can give you more examples of anti-Hinduism that has been perpetrated by the Muslim mobs, including the Congress. Right now, do you, Tehseen, I don't know whether you've condemned it or not, but has Rahul Gandhi condemned the despicable acts by Muslims in a province of Bengal, where Miss Priti Rani has come out and said the things that are unspeakable crimes have happened in Sandesh Khali.
Another lie from Anand.
Okay, let me go across.
Big lie,
Even
because
the High Court has
You see, viewers, this is okay. Let me step in here. Let me step in here. Let me step in here. The court has also now asked for a report. Now, viewers, you see, I'll tell you, if one particular community and their women folk in this country complain of an outrage, it is taken very seriously. I have been tweeting, viewers, for the last 2 days on a case. Coimbatore blast, viewers. Coimbatore blast. You remember what happened in Gujarat when they released the Bilkis Bano convicts? Very bad. They were sent back, and I stood for that. I said this is very wrong. Coimbatore blast, viewers. First of all, can you name me the name of one victim of the Coimbatore blast? 58 people died. You won't. You see, one lady became a national cause célèbre. The other case, no one even knows the name of the victims, and the dreadful murderers of 58 and people who have ended up maiming 250 plus are out, free, despite the Supreme Court saying that they have committed an atrocious crime against humanity. Has anyone talked about it? No, because there are Hindu lives involved, viewers. They don't count. Very much, let me go across to Siddhant. Siddhant, I'm sorry. We got sidetracked, went down a rabbit hole. We have sullied this occasion with the stigma of not even politics, but selectivism. I'm really sorry about this. I want to ask you today, what is the Prime Minister now doing? Apparently, he's come out of the inner sanctum sanctorum.
Well, Rahul, he's being accompanied by Brahma Bihari Das Maharaj, and he's taking a tour of temple right now. And in a meantime, when you people were discussing all this, I was listening to the bhajans being played in the deserts of Arabia. That is very rare for a person like me. It's desert all around, and the bhajans are being played on loudspeaker. And there is no difference between Ayodhya and Abu Dhabi today. Trust me, Rahul, I was present at the time of Pran Pratishtha of Mandir in Ayodhya, and I'm fortunate enough to be here in Abu Dhabi also to witness this day, and I could see no difference at all. And that is perhaps that is because of the cultural outreach of Prime Minister Modi. And also, Rahul, as I've been saying, that this is a historic day.
Yes.
That there have been temples in UAE, but at the level of Prime Minister, after an intervention, temple coming up, land being allocated, red carpet being rolled out for the Prime Minister's welcome, all these things have happened only in Prime Minister Modi's tenure. So that is something where we have to give Prime Minister credit. Also, Rahul, a very last point that I would like to make. The government of UAE or perhaps the other Gulf countries know that the Indian diaspora is a cricket-loving diaspora. They have made stadiums, but none of these governments have ever paid attention to the land being given to temples. So, the sport aspirations were addressed by the government, but the cultural and religious aspirations were never addressed on this scale, the way it is happening
today.
There
you go, viewers.
And for this, we have to give
You have to give credit to the Prime Minister and his growing credibility in these countries, Muslim countries, viewers.